So this time I'm going to be working on a slightly more complex image and taking out part of the image to reuse in a different document with a transparent background. So again, I'm going to go to Open on my screen, and I'm going to select this and open it. Okay, and this time I want to select this flower and this little section of the image, and I'm going to first of all zoom in a bit. So I'm going to use on the Mac it's Command plus, and it will be Control plus in Windows. So now, instead of using the magic wand, we're going to use the quick selection tool. So I'm pressing again on the little triangle and holding and then dragging to the quick selection tool. Again, we have some choices. So we have a regular selection, which means that if you click on something and then you click on something else, you'll get a different selection each time. This is with the plus, it's for a cumulative selection when you want to add to a selection, and the minus is when you want to subtract. So I'm going to be doing a cumulative selection, so I'm going to do it this way. And as you can see, my cursor is quite small, and I can change the size a couple of different ways. I can go up here and change it on this slider by holding this little arrow down, and the other thing I can do is I can do a keyboard shortcut, which is on your keyboard to use the brackets, and the right bracket makes the brush or whatever it is larger, the left bracket makes it smaller. So I'm going to make it large and start selecting this flower cumulatively. So that was pretty fast. So you just have to be a little bit careful not to go over the edges too much. When you go over the edges, the program thinks you're trying to select something else, and it will add that in. You see there I kind of made a mistake and selected some of the white because I did go over the edge. I'm going to leave that because I can correct that later. I could put it back, but I'll just leave that. So I'm going to go through and select some of these leaves, flowers, and these berries. And then I'm going to make my cursor small and try to select some stems. I mean, it's not really working. I could zoom in and do that, but in a way that would be a waste of time because I can easily get rid of the white later. So I'm just going to do it fairly quickly and as well as I can. Not too well. Oops. Okay, so I have a fair amount of white with it, but that's okay. I will go to select and mask just to see what I have. I think I have things I need, and I have some extra, so I'm just going to click OK. You can do other things to your selection in this. In this case, the edges are pretty sharp, so it's not really necessary to feather or smooth or change anything. Sometimes edge detection can be a good tool if the program isn't quite finding the edges just as you would like it to. I'm sliding this up to see if I can get a better selection on these little points. To watch that nothing else changes in a negative way. I think that might be a little better, so I'm going to click OK. And now I'm going to go to Edit, Copy, and Edit, Paste. And as you'll see in your Layers panel right here, a new layer has been added, which is a transparent layer with the pasted selection in it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to now click the eye on the background so the background disappears so that we can actually see the new layer. And obviously I did accidentally bring some white along with the other things, so I'm going to go back to this, go to the magic wand, and I'm going to try and select that white, and I'm just going to press delete on my keyboard so that that white is deleted and we get the transparent background. So I don't, it's going through, selecting and deleting, and here. A bit hard. So Command D or Control D just to deselect, and if you want to be picky, you probably should zoom in a bit too. Just going to zoom in to this section. Okay, I've lost that stem. Okay. So sometimes sometimes when you want to clean up the selection and it's not so much about the color, so you can actually use the eraser tool as well. Again, you have a choice of size, and important points are up here in the control panel are the opacity and the flow. In this case, I want sharp lines, so opacity is 100%. If I wanted to blend something into something else, I could use a lower opacity on the eraser, which would help me to slowly kind of fade the edges and let it blend in. But in this case, I just want to delete part of this just to tidy it up, so it's easy to do. I'll just make this a bit bigger and just click along here to tidy that up. And I'm not really sure what this I want. I don't want any of it really. Somehow I wasn't very careful with this part. Okay, I'm just going to zoom out just to see how it looks. Okay, I think I would probably go up a bit more, and okay. Well, I did lose the stem of these berries, but it doesn't look bad actually, so I think I'll just forget about those. And then here I will select the background layer in layers, and I will delete that because we don't need that anymore. So now we have just that small part that we wanted. We want to crop. We can also just crop here just so that we don't really have any extraneous background. It doesn't really matter because it's transparent anyway, but and that's with the crop tool. I think I saw it, it was over there. Now once you've made your selection for cropping, you then have to go and click the check mark. So there we go. So now I'm going to save this. I'll save it as bouquet. It's not going to be used for any commercial use. So, okay. Just replace. Okay. And then I'm going to save it also as a PNG. Okay, and we are done.